Friday. You will be back with us on Monday. So once again, need to get you on the record this time about your beloved 49ers. At home Sunday, they're 7-point favorites over those kneecap-biting Lions. So how many do your 49ers win by, Richard Sherman?
Skip, I think this is going to be a fun game early on. I think this offense, this Detroit Lions offense, is going to run the ball really well, as they have all year. I think the San Francisco 49ers are going to have some success on the ground and through the air. Obviously, this defense has been solid against the run, but they've been horrific against the pass. They've given up 345 in the last 5 games that Detroit has faced. And so I think they stick in, but this 5-0 protection, this man protection that they run with their offensive line is going to come to bite them later on in this game. I think they lose the game 31-21 to the San Francisco 49ers. I think Nicholas, John Bosa, and the D-line get hot late. And cause some problems for Jared Goff.
You do realize you don't play football no more, right?
I just watch it, and I tell you what I see.
You don't play no more, man.
I just analyze it.
As much as I'm going to probably pick the 49ers, I'm not going to rule out a possible upset. Because when you look at this football team in San Francisco, whatever it is, whatever it means, I have no idea. But when they are missing at any point in time in a game, Deebo Samuel, they're a different offense. Whatever that means. I have no idea what that means, but they look different. And we don't know the status of him as of right now. I'm sure he probably will play. They got something that'll take care of that and make it nice. They got something that'll numb that right on up and get him out there, but he probably won't be 100%. They have struggled, the Lions, in the secondary. They've struggled in the secondary. They've given up the goods in the passing game and all those things. But their front 7 comes to bear. And if they could muster up just enough to get Brock Purdy off his spot based on some of the things that we saw Green Bay was able to do and get him off his spot, then maybe you're talking about something different. I mean, that's just it. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey is still there, Trent Williams and Kittle and Ayuk and all those guys are there. But if the quarterback is on his back, and you know that Aaron Glenn is going to bring pressure. He's going to bring that pressure, especially from the weak side. And when that happens and Brock Purdy, they don't pick that up, then you're talking about a different game. I'm not going to give it all away to score or nothing yet because I am here on Friday. But I just wouldn't be shocked if Detroit walked in there and ran the football down San Francisco's throat, because they just saw Green Bay and Aaron Jones make hay at times running the football. And I'm sure they could go back and look at the Cleveland games and some of those other games where teams ran the football pretty well on San Francisco's defense. So I don't know, Richard, man. I know you're going to stick by the Seahawks, the Niners, and the Bucks, but you may want to rethink it just a little bit.
I'm okay.
So, Keyshawn, am I hearing you? You're leaning Detroit here?
What it sounds like.
Detroit?
Dinner bet?
Let's stop, man, with that dinner. I'm conflicted because I got 2 really good friends that coach for Detroit. And the defensive coordinator, and Aaron Glenn, is like one of my better friends that I've been around and with and deal with in the NFL. And I want him to have the success so he could go on and run his own team. So I'm and I got an ex-teammate that won a Super Bowl with me in John Lynch. And I like San Francisco as a whole, so I'm stuck. I'll let you know on Friday. I'll sleep on it.
Okay, so here where my emotions lie on this one. Just the way Richard has loved ridiculing me about my Cowboys getting annihilated and humiliated by the Green Bay Packers. I would love for Detroit to go in there and stick it to the 49ers. I would love it beyond love. It would salvage my whole year if that could happen. But I am here to tell you, the harder I look at this, the more I see mismatch. The harder I look, the more I see Cinderella turning back into pumpkins here. That Detroit is going to go in there, and I just, as we went to break, came into this topic, I called them, they could be turned back into sacrificial lambs, these Lions. I don't see how Detroit can stop San Francisco unless Brock Purdy turns back into a pumpkin, unless he just goes haywire, and he does have that haywire gene, and Richard doesn't like to hear about this, but he is capable of throwing 4 interceptions against Baltimore because I saw it. And he did go on that jag, that 3-game losing streak, and started throwing it to the other team. Unless that happens, but the weather is supposed to be clear and beautiful. So there's no wet ball problem here. There's no issue that Brock's going to be facing. And to Richard's point, Pro Football Focus ranks Detroit's pass defense 29th in the league. 29th? And Pro Football Focus grades San Francisco's offense #1 in the league. And I'll buy that, especially when Brock is Brock and he's in sync and in rhythm. They are very difficult to stop. So I just see them going up and down the field. And Keyshawn, what's your favorite phrase? Boat race?
Yeah,
I don't know what. Yeah, I know what boat race means. I don't know where it came from because boat races could be close too. But somehow we use boat race as a wipeout, right? Like it's a blowout.
Well,
right?
I mean, Skip, another factor in this game is Detroit's offensive line, who have been some of the best in football this year, is banged up. They may be without their Pro Bowl guard, Jonah Jackson. Their right tackle is banged up with a knee sprain, ankle sprain, and they've run a protection. They've run man-to-man 5-0 protection a lot of the year where they're saying, even against Dallas, against really good pass rushers, they've run, hey, we trust you guys to stand up. We're not giving you help. We're not chipping guys. We're not giving you extras. We're going to let you guys stand up. And against the San Francisco 49ers and Javon Hargrave and Eric Armstead and Nicholas John Bosa, Chase Young and Randy Gregory and those guys, you just can't play the game like that. You can't sit there and say, hey, I'm going to one-on-one these guys all game. I'm not going to give you help. You're going to cause a long day for some of these offensive linemen. And that's where I think things can get kind of muddy if they don't send help, if they don't chip, if they don't double team like these other teams have done against these guys. They can get.
So, Richard, what happened when Detroit went to Baltimore? Do you remember that game?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got
run out the building.
Boat race. That's you.
Yeah, they got run out the building.
You got boat raced. It was 28-0 at halftime. It was 35-0 after 3 quarters. What happened when Green Bay found itself on Thanksgiving Day and opened up a can on Detroit at Detroit? Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
It was 23-6 at halftime. 23-6 Green Bay. They are combustible. You can blow them up and blow them out. So to me, I think it's going to be a wipeout. And I hope I'm wrong, but I'm going to call it 35-14 home team. And I think I might even be conservative on that. Yeah, I think it could get into the 40s.
I don't know. I don't know if it's going to get that crazy, Skip. I think it's going to be close for a while. They're going to get some sacks and stuff in the fourth.
They're going to start taking people out in the mid-third quarter, Skip?
And rest them for the
rest them for the Super Bowl?
Yeesh.
Rest them for the Super Bowl. Yep. Yeah, that's what I got. Hey, Keyshawn, haven't you seen these Cinderella stories where a team gets hot?
Oh, yeah.
And now I'm reading in USA Today's got a big piece today about how they're now the new America's team. They're America's champion. They're the blue collar from Detroit.
Absolutely.
They're up from nowhere. I got it. And it's great. And it's a good story. And Dan Campbell, and it's a great story. But all of a sudden, it's going to get real right before your very eyes.
But I've also
I don't think
seen,
they're ready for this.
But I've also seen the flip side of those stories, too, where it becomes whatever the real America's team and the front pages of newspaper. And then they go on and they do the unthinkable. I've also seen that where you sit there, you go, oh, my God, Jared Goff just threw for 350 and 4 touchdowns?
It could happen.
I mean, it could happen. It doesn't, I'm just not ready to just cave in to San Francisco because they've been the bullies on the block for the majority of the season in the NFC. Sometimes what we see on paper is different than what's actually on the field.
It's crazy because when it's Baltimore and they've been the bully on the block, you can see it, but then when San Francisco, he can't see it. It's like he got goggles on in certain situations. But
here's what I would say to you, sir.
Say it.
I don't have goggles on. I watched Baltimore roll into San Francisco I didn't see San Francisco roll into Baltimore.
You've seen San Francisco roll into everywhere and just about handle their business. You've seen them beat Dallas. You've seen them beat Miami. You've seen them beat...
I didn't see Baltimore go on a 3-game losing streak.
I saw Baltimore lose to Pittsburgh and Kenny Pickett.
That's fine, but they didn't go, and that's a divisional team that they see every single year. And for the most part,
Kenny Pickett.
But for the most part, without me having the numbers in front of me, I think they split almost every single year. It's a divisional game.
So again, when that happens, it makes sense to you. But when it's
Cleveland beat the Niners, man.
And they beat Baltimore.
That's what, but I'm just saying to you, it's a divisional game. There's a difference. They know each other.
Okay.
They smash you. So you gonna tell me Baltimore didn't smash them?
No,
I'm saying is Detroit comes with a different mentality.
Well, I'm saying, you're saying the team with the worst defense in the playoffs right now.
I get it.
By far.
I get it.
They're the only team that doesn't have, out of the 3 or the 4 teams have a top 5 defense, Detroit has the worst.
But you act like I'm sitting up here saying that Detroit going to beat the Niners. I'm just giving a case I'm not going to turn my head to just assume that San Francisco is just going to run through them like Skip just because San Francisco's been the bullies on the block.
But you assume that for Baltimore going against a number 2 defense.
No, I didn't say. I said they would beat them. I didn't say they would boat race them. Skip said that the 49ers is going to send Detroit back home with no luggage. That's what he said. I didn't say that. I didn't say that at all. I said that Baltimore is going to beat Kansas City, and I believe the score was 31-27. That's a close game. That's a one-possession game.
Right.
So what are you talking about?
No, I'm just saying.
I always got to correct you, man.
The way you're talking about this is like you can predict an upset right here. You can think this is going to be an upset, but you don't think Patrick Mahomes
a Kansas City game,
Kansas City can upset them.
Kansas City is not an upset. If Kansas City wins, that's not an upset.
They're the road team. They're the 3 seed.
Oh, God, stop.
That's an upset. They're the underdogs in this situation.
They won the damn Super Bowl last year, son.
They're not the betting favorite. And
it doesn't matter. They won the Super Bowl last year. They're the number 2 seed on the road with the reigning MVP at the quarterback, with a Hall of Fame quarterback, a Hall of Fame tight end, a Hall of Fame coach. Come on, man.
And they're the number 3 seed, and they're going in.